Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lottie and this is my October TBR.
Skeletons and shivers down your spine. Shrieking skulls will shock your soul, seal your doom tonight.
In October, I am primarily taking part in one readathon, and that is Spoopathon. I am so excited for it. Spoopathon is hosted by Spoopy Hall, and she has a bunch of amazing co-hosts as well. And the concept of this readathon is that we are escaping a haunted house through reading books that fit the prompts for like each room. I am on the team Spoop Shifters, which is Spoops' team. Each team in this readathon has like a special power. So for my team, we are able to move diagonally across the Spoopathon board. I am only planning on making it through the haunted house once because I think there are 5 prompts for each room and I'm trying to do 1 book for each prompt, so I think that I will be able to read 5 books this month. I will leave a link to the Spoopathon announcement video in the description, which explains like all the rules and the concept a little bit better than I am. I want to just mention how my September TBR went. I was taking part in Bookathon and Magical Readathon in September. So far so good. There's still a few days left of September at the time that I'm filming this. Although I had 7 books on my TBR, I had only planned to finish 4 of them, and those were the 4 books on my Bookathon TBR, which also doubled it with my Magical Readathon TBR. And I'm currently on my 5th book, which is my 4th book for Bookathon. So at the rate I'm going, I should finish my Bookathon TBR, and I've already completed Magical Readathon because you only had to complete 2 books to finish that. So I am really pleased with how that's going. I'm not carrying over any of the books from September into October. I want to start afresh. So like I said, because I'm on team Spoop Shifters, I can move diagonally across the board, which is really great because it's meant that I've been able to pick which prompts I want based on the books that I'm really excited to read. So I'm going to be starting on the prompt Black Cover, and for this prompt I have chosen to read Malice by Heather Walter. This came out earlier this year and I saw Becca from Becca on the Books talking about it quite a lot and I was super excited about it, so I decided to pick it up. So this will be the first book that I am reading in October. This is a sapphic Sleeping Beauty retelling from the villain's perspective, so we are following the character of Alice, and she is sort of like a Maleficent type character. She's like an evil fairy and I think she must fall in love with the princess. That's all I really know about it. I was really drawn to this because it was like a Maleficent-y Sleeping Beauty retelling more than anything, and it's sapphic, so there was also that. This will fulfill some bonus prompts as well. So it is obviously got LGBTQIA plus rep. It is a spooky book, or at least it gives me spooky vibes, although it's like a fantasy because it's like from the villain's perspective, it gives me spooky vibes, so I'm going to double it up on that. And also because although it wasn't directly recommended to me, it was recommended by Becca, so I'm also counting it as a recommended book for that bonus prompt as well. So then moving diagonally down the board to the right, I think I am going for the prompt Autumnal Cover, and for that prompt I have chosen Aurora Burning by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. I have read Aurora Rising in September and I'm really excited to continue on with the series. I mentioned in my September TBR video that I wanted to try and read 1 book a month for this series because Aurora's End will be published in November and I'm keeping good pace with that. So this is obviously the 2nd book in the Aurora cycle. It is a sci-fi series about a team called Squad 312 and they are sort of like the last picked guys from their academy that have been put together in a team and they have to work together and get along with each other. It is really funny. There is a wide variety of different characters, so you've got like a couple of aliens thrown in there and one of them's really sassy. The other one, Cal, who's on the cover here, he's like a hothead. We've got Tyler, the team leader, who like is gorgeous and he knows it, and his twin sister Scarlett, who's also gorgeous and she knows it. And I just love the way that all the characters like mesh together. So I'm really excited to see those dynamics in Aurora Burning, and also to see what on earth is going to happen next. So the concept of Aurora Rising is that Tyler, the alpha of Squad 312, he decides one night, because he's really nervous about the draft the next day, about picking his team, he decides one night to go out for like a cruise in a ship, and he stumbles across a distress signal, and as like required by the Aurora Legion, which is like, I guess, the military, they have to go and check it out. So Tyler's on his own. He finds a girl in cryosleep who is called Aurora, and he rescues her, and she's like a girl out of time, out of space. She's been in cryosleep for 200 years. It just sort of all goes a bit mad from there. I don't like want to talk about it too much in case anyone hasn't read it, because I really liked going into it not knowing that much. Really like surprised me, but it's really funny. It was really just, I love the character dynamics. The way I would describe it is being like a cross between Star Trek, Ocean's 11 and Stranger Things. So I'm really excited to see what happens next in Aurora Burning. And this will also fulfill the bonus prompts of LGBTQIA+, because one of the characters meets that criteria. So from autumnal cover, I am moving down to the prompt 500+ pages, and for that I'm going to be reading Plain Bad Heroines by Emily M. Danforth. I'm also really excited to read this. It came out earlier this year in the UK, and I've just been sort of waiting to read it ever since, just because it is so chunky. So the prompt 500+ pages was a perfect excuse for this. This is a weird book to describe. I don't particularly know what it's about, other than it's got like a creepy haunted school, and also wasps feature quite prominently in the story. What I think is it takes place in like two timelines, and you've got one of these two girls in the past at the school, and then in the future they're like making a film about the school. All I really know is that it's by Emily Danforth, who wrote The Miseducation of Cameron Post, which is why I wanted to pick it up, and it's sapphic again, so there's not really much more that you need to tell me about it to make me want to read it. This will also fulfill the prompts of LGBTQIA+, obviously, because it's sapphic, and also the author will fulfill the rep for that. It has pink on the cover, so it will fulfill the bonus prompt to read a book with your team colour, because the Spoop Shifters team colour is pink, and also it will fulfill the prompt for a spooky book, because it's got a creepy old school, and it's also a horror. I am really excited to see what this is all about. So then I am moving diagonally to the right again to the prompt Trick or Treat. I was really excited about this prompt because it is basically like a poll pick, and one of them is a book you're really excited about, and one of them is a book that you're not as eager to read. What Spoop suggested for this prompt is to take a picture of the two books and let people decide without telling them which one's the trick and which one's the treat. What I thought would be a good idea is to just do a poll on Twitter and use emojis to suggest which book was which. I didn't mention the names of the books, which one was my trick or treat. I let that run for a day, and we can see from the screenshot here that's the knife emoji one, and I can see why people chose this, because this is more spooky. It's more like fitting for October and Halloween than I guess the flames emoji would suggest. But the knife one was actually my trick book, and I'm a little bit bitter about it. So I'll show you what the books were and you'll see why I'm a little bit bitter. Can you tell which one was which emoji? So Air of Fire was obviously the flames, and that was my treat book. I really want to get to this, and I was really hoping to fit it onto this TBR because I just really want to read it. I read Crown of Midnight in August and took a break from the Throne of Glass series in September because it just didn't really fit on my TBR. So I was really hoping that this would be the book picked for Trick or Treat, but sadly it is not. So instead I will be reading The Shining by Stephen King, and yes, I do want to read this, but I'm just more excited to read Air of Fire. So yeah, The Shining one, which I mean, I suppose it would have made more sense if I'd picked an axe emoji, but I didn't really think of it at the time, which is why I picked the knife. The Shining by Stephen King. I don't think I really need to explain what this is about. It has a really famous film adapted from it, but I'm really excited to read the book. I feel like it's become a bit of a tradition for me to read a Stephen King book every October anyway, so I'm sort of glad that this is on my TBR. This will fulfill the bonus prompt of spooky book as well, because obviously it's like a thriller horror. Excited to read it because the film is like one of my favourite films of all time, so I'm really hyped to read it. And then the final prompt of the readathon is read a book after dark. I was just going to mood read for this prompt and see what I'm in the mood for. Fortunately, by the time I get to that prompt, it will probably be dark quite a lot in October, so I haven't selected a particular book for this prompt, but I will probably read Fire, let's be honest. I would really like to read this, and I hate every single person who voted for The Shining on my trick or treat pick. Thanks. So these are all the locked in books on my October TBR, and they are mass to 2073 pages, which sounds like a lot, but I think I've actually read more than that this month already, so I should be able to get through all of these in good time. I'm just a little bit intimidated by this one because it is a chonker. But yeah, I'm super hyped to read these. I thought I would also mention a couple of other books I would like to try and get to in October if I find myself with extra time. I'd really like to read Uzumaki by Junji Ito if I can. I also have 7 Stephen King short stories here, so I'd like to try and get through a couple of those as well. These are all part of the Iconic Stories collection published by Harder and Stoughton, so I would like to try and squeeze a couple of those on. If I end up making it through The Haunted House, I could probably pick one of these for a book that's under 200 plus pages, so that'd be really nice as well, because these are all like spooky, thrillery, horror ebooks that I would like to read. So that is it from me today. Thank you so much for watching. I think this was like a nice short and sweet video just to show you what I'm planning on reading in October. If you are taking part in Spoopathon, please let me know in the comments and tell me what team you're on as well, because I would be really excited to find out, and tell me what you're reading as well in October. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up to show me you liked it, and if you would like to leave a comment but you don't really have anything else to say, leave a knife emoji for The Shining because everybody has stabbed me in the back. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you hopefully very soon with a new video. Bye!